What's up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here. And today, welcome back to another episode of Shadows and Pretties. Now, this is another Christmas episode related that I am going to be talking about. So, this is this is actually another Christmas episode that I'm going to be talking about. So, this is episode 41, and today in this topic, we're going to be talking about a Christmas movie related with a train. Now, you guys are thinking, is it Thomas the Tank Engine Christmas special? Well, you're wrong. It is not the Thomas the Tank Engine Christmas special. It's the Polar Express. Yes, I am going to be talking about the Polar Express movie that we got in 2004 and the Polar Express book, which we got in 1985. So, I am going to be explaining what the movie is about because most of us probably have seen this when we were younger, and I'm pretty sure most of us have, seen this when you were younger. So if you guys have seen this one, be sure you ring the bell. Be sure you comment down below and stuff. So I am going to sit here right now that this story, I'm going to say the whole story and concept of this is just amazing. Like, it just was flat out amazing with the whole Polar Express concept. So, now, I am going to be completely honest that this story was actually pretty interesting. Now, I know it was nominated by a lot of awards, and it was actually one award, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm going to be completely honest that this story, this episode, you're going to be, wishing you were on the Polar Express right now. So, now, with that being said, I am going to go ahead and explain what the movie is about, and I am going to be spoiling pretty much everything, so if you don't want to hear me spoil it, I suggest you leave the video right now and watch another of my videos. So, with that being said, let's begin. So, the Polar Express movie, the 2004 movie that I am going to explain, has Tom Hanks, who voices the conductor, and there is almost no names for certain characters except for one boy, which is Billy, and there was like Hero Boy, Hero Girls, Know It All. There's not really actual names of these characters, which kind of confuses me on why there's like no actual names for these characters. That's actually a concept. That's actually something that, most stories or movies at this point don't really do. This is surprising because, surprising enough, they made this. So, pardon me about that. I have a bit of a cold going on. So if I do talk like a little weird, you'll probably know it's just allergies. So let's begin. So on the night of Christmas Eve, a boy is skeptical of the existence of Santa Claus. However, he is struggling to fall asleep when he witnesses a steam locomotive arrive on the street and goes outside to examine it, and the conductor introduces the train as the Polar Express, and it's on its way to the North Pole. So the boy jumps on board as the train departs, and in the passenger's car, he meets a spirited girl and a smart know-it-all boy, and the train picks up a boy named Billy, who declines to come aboard, but changes his mind when the boy pulls the emergency brake so Billy can get on board. So much to the conductor's dismay, Billy sits alone in the observation train car, and hot chocolate is being served to the passengers, and the girl stows away a cup for Billy. And then she and the conductor across to the dining car, but the boy notices this and he leaves her that he notices that he left her an unpunched ticket. So, but of course the hero boy loses the ticket between cars when he attempts to return it. But of course, with that being said, and the conductor notices the absence and escort the girl to the back of the rear car. So, when the know-it-all claims that the conductor will throw the girl off the train, I don't know if people do that still or not, but comment down below because I've ridden a train once, but yeah, if you guys do know that if they throw random people off the train, if they don't have, their tickets or something, please let me know in the comments below. I would really like to hear that because it's much as it's being like, messed up and stuff, but still. So, basically, the boy recovers the ticket and dashes to the dining car to find the conductor. However, he climbs on the roof and meets a hobo camping on the roof who offers him coffee and discuss the existence of Santa Clauses and ghosts. So the hobo girl skates with the boy along with the top of the cars towards the coal tender, where of course the hobo, or the person at least, disappears right at the flat of the tunnel. So in the locomotive's cab, the boy discovers that the girl has been made to supervise the drive-in train while the engineers, Steamer and Smokey, were placed on headlights. So the boy applies the brakes when the train comes to stop with a herd of caribou. Yeah, there's a deer experience, species or something, blocking the tracks. So the conductor pulls on Smokey's beer, causing them to let out like animal noises, and the caribou clear the tracks. So when the train continues to go in extreme speed, of course they steers off, and of course they accelerate down like into a frozen lake. So Smokey uses his hairpin as the throttle, and the train drifts across the ice. And of course, it got there before the ice breaks. So the boy returns the girl's ticket for the conductor to punch, and the three of them return to the passenger's car. So when the Scrooge puppet shows up, taunting the boy and calling him the Dauber, that's when things started to get really weird. So as a kid, I'm sure most of you guys probably have been scared a few parts of the movie, but comment down below. I like to hear your thoughts. So, the train arrives at the North Pole eventually, where the conductor announces that one of the passengers will be chosen to receive the first gift of Christmas from Santa Claus himself. Discovering that Billy was still alone in the observation car, the girl and the boy persuade him to come along, but the boy accidentally uncouples the car, sending it back towards the railway turntable in Santa's workshop. So the children make their way through an elf command center, a sort of like office, before being dumped into a giant sack of presents, where they discover that the know-it-all has stowed away, that the elves escorted him before Santa and his reindeer arrived. So when the bells goes flying loose in the galloping reindeer's reins, the boy instantly cannot hear it ring until he finds within itself to believe, and allows the bell to Santa, who selects him to receive the first gift of Christmas. So the Santa agrees to let him keep the bell, and the boy places on his robe pocket. So when the rear car is returned to the train and the children are aboard to go home, but the boy discovers he lost the bell through the hole in his pocket, and he returns home and awakens on Christmas morning to find a present containing his lost bell. And his younger sister, Sarah, Sarah is actually one of the only people that were named in this film. Don't ask why, but it's kind of something, to be completely and utterly honest. So when his younger sister Sarah joyfully rings the bell, their parents, not believing Santa, don't hear the bell, and they say the bell is broken. But the boy reflects on friends and sister eventually growing deaf of the bell over the years. Their belief had faded. However, despite his old age, the bell still rings for him, as it does for all who truly believe. So that's actually a good story. Like, what a great story that this movie was. Like, when I first heard of this movie was just absolutely amazing. So it did premiere on the Chicago International Film Festival sometime in 2004, before it gets a worldwide release. So with the development of the books, of course, Hank auditioned the book in 1999 in the hopes of playing the conductor and Santa Claus, but one of the conditions of the sale, the results of it not being animated. So, however, they felt the live-action version wouldn't work that well, so claiming that it would look awful and be impossible, as it would cost a lot of money. So, of course, with that being said, in order to keep his vision a process was created by the animators. So, yeah, this was going to be a live-action movie, but they realized, it would be too expensive, so they had to sit there and, kind of make, the cheapest one they could possibly can. So that's basically why they went with, animation, which is awesome. Now, of course, the filming of this movie started beginning in June of 2003 and then was finished in May 2004 before it was released before Christmas time. So the buildings at the North Pole, to a number of buildings related to the American railway history, which is very surprisingly, actually. So with that being said, I am going to say this right here, right now, that the buildings in Square City Center are loosely based on the neighborhood around Chicago's Pullman neighborhood. Of course, the Polar Express was based on one of the locomotives that they had to, decide to animate it and stuff, which was pretty interesting with that. And of course, the soundtrack of Polar Express was released before the movie was released, which is quite something. So, the film was released on DVD with 2 separate widescreen versions and full screen versions, as well as a single and 2-disc special editions, with bonus features on the VHS on November 22nd, 2005, 1 year after the film had came out, but it was released on HD DVD with bonus features in 2006. And on Blu-ray in 2007, they both present the original widescreen and stuff like that. So, I could definitely say that the film opened at second behind Incredibles when it was released on that same year. And let's just say a lot of people probably have remembered this. So there is a game based on the Polar Express video game. Yes, there is. But to be completely and utterly honest, I have not played the game, so don't ask me if I played it because I have not played it. So that is basically what the movie is about, and the book is quite similar to the movie, except it's a little different because it was made and written by Chris Van Allsburg. So I'm going to sit there and, explain what the book is. So the book is kind of similar to the movie, but the movie is a lot more different, and you can spot, the differences when I go through the book. So while I go through the book, my little pretties, I want you to see which is the difference that you're seeing. So, let's begin. So, a young boy is waking on Christmas Eve that night to the sound of the train, and to his astonish, his train was awaiting for him, and he sees a conductor who proceeds to look up at his window. So he runs downstairs and goes outside. The conductor explains that the train is called the Polar Express, and it is journeying to the North Pole, and the boy aboards the train, however, is filled with many other children in their pajamas. So the Polar Express races north over the mountains and through the boreal forests and inhabited by timber wolves as well as rabbits. But the train never slows down, and when it arrives at the North Pole, the conductor explains that Santa will select one of them to receive his first gift on Christmas. So the boy and the other children will see thousands of Christmas elves gathered around the center of the town, waiting for Santa Claus on his way. So the boy gets handpicked by Santa and receives the first gift on Christmas. However, realizing that he chose not to choose anything to the world, the boy asks for a bell and from one of the reindeer's harnesses, and the boy places the bell of his pocket on the robe, and all the children watch as Santa takes off into the night for his annual deliveries. Of course, later on in the train, the boy discovers that the bell has fallen through his pocket, and the boy goes home and goes to his bedroom as the train pulls away. On Christmas morning, his sister finds a small package for the boy under the tree and behind all the other gifts. So yeah, the sister opens up his present in the movie, but in the book, it actually did not happen. It was the boy who basically opened the present and discovers that it contained the bell delivered by Santa, with a note explaining that he found on the seat of his sleigh. When the boy rings the bell, he and his sister hear the marvelous sound, but how his parents, however, are unable to hear it. So since they don't believe in Santa and remark that it must be broken, the book ends with the following line: "At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that could no longer hear the sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it truly does for those who believe." So, now basically, the sister didn't hear the bell, or the parents did in the movie, but the sister, however, hears the bell in this movie. Now, in this book. I don't understand why they changed that in the book, but, that's probably because the directors are like, hey, let's try something a little different. So, yeah, the movie Polar Express is based on this book, but however, they did make a few minor changes. Not really major changes, so it's like completely different, but they changed, some minor stuff. So, the book was taking place of a child wandering in the woods in the foggy night, and of course, the book right here, after it was released, it was actually been sold. Many copies have been sold. So more each year, and then last, and the book had been one of the best ones yet. So, of course, the film adaptation Polar Express was a 2004 American computer animated film based on the book, and then produced and directed by Robert Zemeckis. And the film features human characters animated using the live action performance capture technique. Yes, they did that back then. So, with that being said, that's actually the Polar Express book and the Polar Express movie. So, what did you guys think? Do you guys like the book? Do you guys like the movie? Do you like them both? Did you not? Also, what we have done to make the movie or book a lot better? Just let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below, because I would like to hear your thoughts and opinions on the Polar Express. And by the way, if you guys have not seen the movie, I highly recommend you check it out because it's a good Christmas movie to have even right now during the holidays. So anyways, with that being said, I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I would really like to hear your thoughts and opinions as you could just say I upload videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I will be catching you all, my little pretties, in the next video. Thank you so much, and I will be catching you all next time. So peace out, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.